Right, welcome back for another installment of Behind the Scenes with the Collections here. So for this recording, I have brought a bunch of our Christmas items out to tie with the current time of year. So we've got hundreds, if not thousands, of Christmas items spanning from early Victorian up to the 1960s, 1970s. So I'm just going to take you through a few of the ones that I quite like or that I think have really good stories with them. So we can start out here with Christmas trees. Everyone, I'm sure, is familiar with Christmas trees, but particularly how they were lit. So as you can see with this little 1950s decoration, it's actually lit by fake candles, because Christmas trees very early on would actually have been lit by candles. And here you've got packaging from late 1800s, very early 1900s for Christmas tree candles. And you'd move on from there to electric lights. So here you've got a set of Pifco replacement bulbs for a string of fairy lights, which are likely to be just pre-World War II. And then this next set here is 1950s with Pifco fairy lights in bell shapes, and these actually tell a number of different fairy tales on them. Unfortunately, a lot of the writing has disappeared off them, but for instance this one is Little Miss Muffet. Other ways you might have lit your house is with decorations would be this one. I love it. It's unfortunately quite fragile and I think quite dangerous. So it's a paper and cardboard box that folds together, and as you can probably just see there, there's a holder for a candle. So when you piece the whole thing together, you would actually light it up with a candle and you could then see the colors glowing. So on this side, you've got just some nice wintry scenes with Santa, and if I flip it around the other side, there's actually a much better view of Santa. But again, Christmas, it appears, was quite a dangerous time in the late 19th and early 20th century, and even to the mid 20th century. We can go with the Christmas glitter here. So fake snow, essentially, that you could sprinkle along and help decorate your house with. But what many people don't realize is this was often asbestos. Thankfully, this particular one is not, and many of the packages at the time would have clearly said, this is made of asbestos. It was very common in the early 20th century, and even in films. So White Christmas and some of the other major Hollywood films of the time used asbestos to be the snow in the film. So if you do have 1950s decorations hanging around, do be careful with them. One of my favorite decorations that we have, because we have many Christmas tree ornaments, and especially some of the Victorian and the very early 20th century ones are incredibly fragile. But this one, as you see while I pick it up, is unfortunately a bit worse for wear, but it is Santa in an airplane. And you can just make his head out in there. But yes, so of all the many modes of transport that Santa used, apparently airplanes was one of them as well. This one over here, the Easter egg, you can see, I think someone was quite confused about what holiday it was. So it's clearly an Easter egg that you can open and hide something in, but the decorations on it are Christmas. So you have a little boy holding a Christmas cake and carrying it somewhere. Why it's been decorated this way, don't really know, but I just think it's quite funny. And if you're like me and have eaten a few too many Christmas biscuits, you probably need to work on exercising a bit more. Here we have exercise equipment, which is specifically advertised for Christmas. You can just see down the side there. But likewise, handwritten on the front of the box says Merry Christmas and the person's name. but I'm not sure they quite appreciated the gift because they've scratched out all of their name on it. So I suspect he wasn't that successful in getting the results that they advertise. So one of my favorite of our World War I Christmas objects is this packet of tobacco and pipe, which were given to Robert Stanton in 1914 from Her Royal Highness's Princess Mary Christmas Fund. They were passed down to the son of Robert, who eventually gave them to us a number of years ago now. So, coming up to your Christmas meal, of course, everybody needs a Christmas cracker. So, here we go. We've actually got this box here of unopened Yuletide series Christmas crackers. So, still in crepe paper with snowmen and leaf on it. I do really wonder what the horrible, horrible jokes are that you'll find inside these, and the gifts as well. But unfortunately, with all of them being unused, we're not going to test and find out. And finally, if you've not had the opportunity to go to a Panto this year, you might as well bring the Panto to you. So we've got this Victorian theatre complete with curtain, and it comes with about 20 different sets with backdrops that you can interchange from it, as well as all of your wings, and multiple different characters that you can independently move based on fairy tales, nursery rhymes. I think there's even a few Shakespeare plays mixed in there. And it's got all the different characters to go with that, many of which are hand-colored. So they originally came out black and white, and the child who was given this has hand-colored some of them. And I think Harlequin there is a good example of that. I just love this because it is such an amazing thing, especially when you look down at the footlights there. So it actually has a space for you to put essentially little birthday candles to light up the entire thing. So it gives you the true Victorian pantomime experience. As you go for your Christmas dinner, this would prove very helpful. So it's a full set of Windsor china saying Happy Christmas. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick run through of some of the Christmas objects we have here in the collection. You'll be able to see more on the museum's social media and mine as well if you just search for Beamish Museum Collections on Instagram. I'll be putting more up over the next few weeks, and we should have some more videos coming for you soon. Have a Merry Christmas.